What's up, vlog? You're about to spend like way too much time with me. I don't even want to spend this much time with myself. I forget that I'm there a lot of the time. But you're gonna see like what my day-to-day looks like. Some people think it's just like creating content or like, I don't know, podcasts or like digging around on TikTok, which we'll do a little bit of that. But the majority of my day is actually like meeting, work, meeting. So you're about to see that.
I think that's all we have, yeah.
Fantastic.
Anything, guys?
That's it. I appreciate the hustle. Great work. Let's continue growing and working towards our goals and getting better every day.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Cool. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.
So, not a whole lot of people know this. We actually have a team in the Philippines that's full-time, down with the shits with Trendsetters. The primary reason, obviously, it's like an economically sound decision. But the other thing is just the fact that we can now have like 24-hour round clock executions because they're 13 hours ahead of us actually. So essentially like 24 hours a day, someone at Trendsetters is working on something, which means we can just move a lot faster for not only ourselves, but more importantly, like our clients and executions. And today's like digital world, social landscape is 24 hours around the clock in terms of content, in terms of social media. So you need an agile 24-hour round the clock team as well. Okay, so I just spent probably 30-45 minutes copywriting, both adjusting some things for some clientele that our copywriter was working on, and then also writing some copy for my own LinkedIn content. So I actually write all of my LinkedIn content. I don't really plan it in advance too far. The primary reason being I like it to come from a creative inspiration place, and I don't want to feel like forced to post on the platform. Does the platform perform really well for me? Yes. Does it generate new leads and new business? Yes. But do I rely on it? Not really. So it's an awesome platform, but one that you don't want to be limited to. And then I was kind of just reviewing some executions for some clientele, reviewing a couple different landing pages, how we can increase conversions there. And then even researching a little bit for one client, like the market they're in, which is kind of a unique market, to see how we can better like market and advertise within there. So a lot of what I do is still very much like hardcore execution a little bit. It's less like doing the work and more like reviewing and adjusting and prioritizing, because when you become a team leader, you need to shift away from like doing so much of the doing and more helping others do and improve, whether it's their efficiency, their effectiveness, or their productivity overall. Because I only have, call it, I'm going to work 10 hours today. So if you add that up across everyone, make it 8 hours. Even if I'm managing just 10 people, which we're managing more, that's 80 hours versus my 10. So if I spend my 10 improving the effectiveness of the 80, that's a lot better use of my time. So a lot of people don't understand that, but as a business owner, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, manager, you need to spend more time coordinating executions and less time doing it yourself, because there's only so much you can do on your own. This is a meeting with Philip, our head of growth and revenue here at TrndsttrsMedia. We're going to pretty much review our pipeline, leads coming in, prospects, companies that want to work with us. We spend a lot of time in the early stage, like in our strategy process, rather than just like pitching some bullshit that we kind of put together last minute. We really like to spend time. It's a lengthy sales process, but it's one that then once we launch with those clients, we retain a lot of them because we're actually doing the job that's needed. So anyway, we spend a lot of syncs like this. Pretty much everything we're about to say is like non-disclosed. So with that in mind, you probably can't listen in, but maybe you'll see some things.
What do you think is going to happen with social media platforms such as TikTok, YouTube, Instagram in the next 20 years?
20 years, damn, that's a long timeline. I normally don't think that long. What I would say likely is going to happen within the next like 20 years would be new platforms are definitely going to bubble up. It'll be interesting to see like what primary platforms now are still around then, because if you think about the life cycle, it's been short. I mean, Facebook was only really started like 10 years ago. YouTube a little bit before then, but not as popular as it has been the past like 10 years. and then like Instagram, Twitter, all, like LinkedIn, even Snapchat, TikTok. These are all like super new platforms. So I think new platforms are going to bubble up, and then in 20 years, augmented and virtual reality are going to play a much larger impact. The platforms that integrate those seamlessly and shift accordingly are going to be really well positioned to continue dominating in the future, and those that aren't are going to get fucked one way or the other. So evolve or die, and that's definitely going to be the case with social media platforms.
And what do you think of people on TikTok right now, such as the D'Amelios, the Hype House?
Yeah.
What would you have advice for them? Because they're like 15, 16, 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to them with all this fame? Because you know TikTok isn't going to last forever. So what would you say to them like right now going into their future?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the same advice I gave to Amanda before she started working with us, and before we eventually like hired her on, because she was a big name influencer, kind of the same questions. Understand that the platform and your influence is not going to be around forever. There are very few people that have like consistently maintained that, and even then you might not like enjoy that 5, 10, 15 years from now. Particularly if you're relying on your like good looks or your youth and understanding of like youth culture, that's going to go away. So with that in mind, what you need to be doing is building like a business, whether that's consulting, whether that's like brand partnerships where you then like help them with their marketing and advertising, whether that's like building up your own brand that you're selling merch on. You need to be doing things of that nature, not just relying on getting checks from brands because of your influence, because your influence could literally go away any day. You could literally accidentally post something that has like some material in it that isn't supposed to be in a video and get like banned by the platform. So with that in mind, and with TikTok being in the place where it is, build an omnichannel approach and build some sort of business behind it, which a lot of these kids really aren't doing outside of like D'Amelio, but that's because her dad is like a business mogul. The other ones really aren't doing that. They need to be.
Yeah, because Logan Paul also touched on this point, is that when a lot of Viners became famous, they ran with it, such as David Dobrik, the Paul brothers, and a lot of them kind of turned into comedians, and a lot of them you see now, they're just struggling for money after that happened.
Yeah.
So I know they did an interview with some TikTokers, or I forgot who specifically, but it was with them saying like, yo, you need to like get this fame right now and just take it as far as you can, but in a smart way, in a good direction, so you're not becoming irrelevant and you run out of money somehow. Yeah,
definitely. And like what the Paul brothers, what David Dobrik, what they've done really well is they are building businesses that are across all platforms, and then they have like a purpose with what they do. They're not just like filming them doing a stupid prank or dance. They're like putting more meaning behind it. Logan Paul's got his podcast, David Dobrik's everywhere all the time. He's doing giveaways, doing like brand partnerships and stuff. So he's really building up like his brand beyond just the platform. And I think that's huge. You got to be more than just the latest trend and the latest social media thing or your looks. Like you need to be, people need to like you for something bigger than that.
Yeah.
So this is Jake's lunch. It's pretty much just BCAAs, which are branched chain amino acids. For those that don't know, I don't know. It just tastes good. Beyond raw. They're all kind of the same. But when you are intermittent fasting, which I do daily, about 12 hours in, your muscle starts kind of breaking down, all the muscle cells, which isn't good. So what do? Take branched chain amino acids, which help prevent and actually build muscle. So, and what's good is these aren't going to break my fast, so my metabolism will still be, or my insulin will still be turned off, and wondering why the fuck I haven't eaten for the past 14, 15 hours, which is good, because then all these cells in my body will start killing each other to preserve energy, which is good for preventing inflammation, cancer, a ton of other shit. It's also been shown to be the best way to prevent aging, which obviously being 21 years old, I'm not worried about. I would like to look this way for the rest of my life. So this is how I'm gonna do it. This is the secret. So when I'm still running a Gen Z agency or whatever next generation is next and still pretending to look like the young kid when I'm really like 60, that'll be my secret. Cheers.